And gosh, my throat. Um, Welcome to the Poultry Balls podcast with Tola, Makanjola. Um, how are you? How you doing? How's life? How the wars? Are you are you enjoying the wars? Are you who are you rooting for? So stupid. Gosh, I feel okay. I the other day I ran for the bus. I think that's probably the first time I've done that in my adult life. I literally anytime I'm approaching the bus stop and I see that it's about to take off, I never run. I never run. I'm just like, well, I guess I'm gonna be late. I was like, I couldn't care less. It's like I'm not gonna like. There's so much indignity in running for a bus. Although part of me says that, another part says that I see people run from the bus, and that's determination. Like I'm gonna get this bus. So I lie on the side of indignity. It just looks pathetic. But I ran for the bus. But I did it because I felt good, which is contradictory. But I was like, I've been going to the gym, just working out. So I didn't feel I'll look like a total mess. So I didn't run like for like days, whatever. It's like the bosses kind of just sat there. The last person got on, and I did like a little strut, little quick jog, and I caught the bus, and I was like, yeah, I didn't feel pathetic at all. So I don't know why. I don't know why you needed to hear that, but it just came to mind. Just came to mind. Speaking of the gym, I don't know if you use TikTok or Instagram or any other cesspool of hell. You'd have probably seen some funny gym videos, right? Clips where you have really obnoxious human beings doing excessive, unnecessary exercises in the gym. From climbing the walls to breakdancing on on a barbell, all kinds of weird shit. And I was fortunate enough to be in that scenario in real life. So I was in the gym the other day, and I thought I was doing legs. I don't know why that detail is important, but I was doing legs, and there was this dude just right, kind of few meters away from me, and I think he was doing I don't know, okay. He was doing the arms or legs. Anyway, after he finished, after this dude finished each exercise, the guy would go, woo! He would yell, woo! It's like, you can hear him counting under his breath. He would go, 8, 9, 10, woo! And I was like, oh wow, I need a camera right now. I need to be able to record this atrocity. Of course, I didn't do that. I had my phone with me, but I didn't do that. But in my head, I was like, I could easily go viral right now with this clip. And then he got up. He got up and he went to another exercise machine, and he kind of went through the same routine. But this time he yelled, "Yeah!" uh, I had to leave after that point. It was a little distracting, and kind of got in my head a little bit. Maybe that was his intention, just to kind of just intimidate everyone within his vicinity. While I wasn't intimidated, I was wildly amused. But yeah, I had to. It's just weird. I was like, nah, I can't be around this. This is just awkward. I think that's a really good tactic, actually, if you want to clear the gym out. Just to make loud, obnoxious noises. You don't really need to, you know, walk across the gym. Just, beat your chest and yell, "Woo! Yeah! Oh yeah!" And yeah, the gym will clear out for you. You got your own private gym. Um, well, yeah, I've been gymming. Call me Jimmo. Yeah. So, which I think is good. It's becoming more of a routine as we go along. Initially when you want to go to the gym, you haven't gone for like 3 months, and you're like going, today's the day. Today's the day. Tomorrow might be the day. Yeah, you're just trying to edge yourself towards actually making that step. You're getting fatter, you're getting more increasingly unhealthy. But then you then go to the gym and you go like maybe a couple of times, then you stop. I don't know what it is about the gym, but for some reason, I think obviously it's about the mind, right? So if you're determined to, if you have a goal, like you want to lose weight, you want to be healthy, maybe you got some bad news from the doctor. Yeah, it's like I think that's probably the greatest incentive. Like you want to stay alive and healthy. Um, then it's slightly easier to make it a routine, and part of your, yeah. So something that you don't really need to think about too much. So I'm happy that I'm getting to that point. I've been going to the gym for the last, like regularly for the last month, maybe, probably. Yeah, yeah. And it feels good. It feels good. I get compliments. It's better than insults, right? I don't know. Um, but yeah. Speaking of compliments, I'm I'm now working on Hot Series 14. Wow. I believe I started the Hot Series in October 2021, and it's been over 2 years. And I've done about 14. I'm on the 14th series. Each series is about 12 drawings, illustrating the heart in different contexts. So what's 12 times 12? 144. Wow, so I've done over 144 drawings. If you add that to an additional 12, that's 156. So yeah, I've done about 3 drawings so far in the 14th series. And if you want to see them, it's the Instagram handle is the Hot Series Live. Hot Series Live. So check it out and follow along. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep doing it, but I'm still doing it, which is good. Endurance. I enjoy it. It's just that no strings attached. I just draw hearts basically. I remember I remember I went to a store. I went to a market, and I was at this guy's store. He was selling these really cool jackets, like embroideries of like artists and leather jackets and whatever. And I think we decided we were exchanging Instagram accounts because I was really showing what I was doing, and I showed him the Hot series. And I was like, "Oh wow, you're trying to spread love, right?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, absolutely." It's like, "No, that's not the intention at all." It's maybe it is. I don't know. Again, like I said, for me, then no strings attached. It was a random exercise that I started and haven't stopped since. Um, the wonderful thing about art is that people take away what they will, even intention. Um, I don't care. It's like it's there. If you like it, fine. If you don't, that's just as valid a reaction. But it was like, oh yeah, wow, you're trying to spread love. Like, okay, sure. I'll pretend that's the truth. So yeah, check out the Hot series. It's on Instagram. Uh, what else can I talk about? I'm kind of tired. It's been a long week. I love weekends, especially when you earn them, right? Like when you just work like a freaking maniac through the week, and then the weekend comes along and you're like, no one talked to me, nobody said my name. Wah! So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Uh, it's a good weekend so far. It's kind of quiet. I was watching The Office yesterday, last night. I haven't watched The Office in years. I mean, gosh, maybe 10 years. As in like one episode. I think I've seen clips and stuff, obviously, but not since, gosh, it's been 11, 12 years, and a lot of the stuff. I absolutely love The Office. The American version. I love both, but the American version was what I was watching, and um, I love the humor. Just wouldn't fly in this really sensitive, depraved world that we live in. It's a very obnoxious world of sensitivity and virtue signaling. Uh, the humor was so great. It was so edgy. It just made me laugh so much. But it's about context, right? So I thought it was brilliant. I think Steve Carell. I remember when the Office came out. He was literally the funniest man alive at that time. I remember there was like a magazine cover of him. I remember at the Emmys. He was the guy. I mean, he still is. I love Steve Carell. He's brilliant. But when he did The Office, gosh, there was no funnier person. And yeah, it still holds. It's just brilliant, edgy comedy. Just like really. Like there's a bit he does where this is like in one of the very early episodes. Maybe it's like episode two, something like that, where he does a Chris Rock bit, and he's saying nigger. And of course, they're bleeping out the N words, but he has no idea that what he's doing is offensive. He's trying to figure out why Chris Rock can do the bit, and everyone laughs, and when he does it, he gets reported to 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 the headquarters. So yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. So I'm gonna watch some more today at some point. Um, what else can I share? I don't like sharing. I just like talking shit. It's a better mode of life. Oh, let's share our thoughts. No, I don't want to do that. It's like get out of my head. I'd rather just effing blind. Okay. So many an episode ago, I spoke about my eaten salad drunk poetry book, haikus, right? And I haven't looked at that book for a long time since I made the episode, which says a lot about me. But it's actually, I carry that around with me, to be fair, and it's actually in my hands right now. Um, and I'm gonna read some because I need to fill up the time. I'm kidding, but no. These were great, and let's see if they still hold up. Let's still feel the same way. So this one says, how to get your man to do push-ups. Do push-ups in front of him wrong. That's very true. It's like, oh, let me show you how to do it. You have no clue. And it's like, she's just trying to get you to exercise, you fat freak. Okay. What you said to me when I wasn't listening makes a lot of sense. I never understood that. I mean, I know it's some sort of cliche, I suppose, that, oh, it's a myth. Is it a cliche? I don't know. But there's this idea that men don't listen to the women when they're talking to them. That's never been my experience. I think the only time I don't listen is when I consciously decide not to. That's a difference, and that's just being rude or obnoxious, admittedly. But it's not like they're talking and you just switch off. That's not been my experience, personally. Maybe I'm a good guy. Maybe I'm rare. I don't know. But so I generally tend to, if I'm having a conversation with someone, it's important to listen. That's an obvious thing to say, but it's very important because that means the conversation, you can ask questions, you can respond appropriately, you might even learn something. So listening is key. So it's important in learning. If you listen, you apply your mind, then you're going to get something out of it that you might not even realize. And I think it's a good tactic as well in life generally, not just in your relationship, to listen. Right? Because sometimes if you listen, you don't really need to respond. You just kind of, how to manage that situation appropriately. So, listen, folks. I don't know if that was insightful, but here's the thing: a lot of people don't listen. And that's why that myth came about. Like, guys don't listen to their women when they're talking to them. They kind of zone out, or like me, maybe purposely switch off. So, as obvious as it might seem, it's important to listen. Speaking of listening, no, this has nothing to do with listening, but I was watching a football highlights game. This was France versus Gibraltar. I don't know. But last night, France beat Gibraltar 14-0. I didn't even know that scoreline was possible in football. 14-0. Alright, so I'm watching the game. I'm watching the highlights. And the first 3 goals, at least 2 of them are like on goals. So it's like, okay, is this a pattern of behaviour? Is this a pattern as to what I'm should expect in the rest of this game? Just bad defending, or are we going to see some great goals? So the first 3, 2 of them are on goals, and one's a penalty. It's like boring so far. Then the goals start to get increasingly more impressive, and I think by the 7th goal, I switch off because it just gets, it's like, it becomes almost redundant. It's like, yeah, this is good. This isn't going to end well, right? And it wasn't engaging. I didn't find it engaging at all. But the 7th goal, I remember my mind switched off. I was thinking about something else. And when I re-engaged, it was 11-0. So I'd missed about 3 solid goals. I honestly couldn't tell you who scored those goals in between the 7th and the 11th. And then I kind of watered my way through from the 11th to the 14th. Kind of. I remember 1 goal by Mbappe, 1 by Dembele, overhead kick by Giroud, and that's it. Out of 14 goals. So too much of a good thing makes people switch off. That's why if you talk too much, going back going back to the listening theory, if you talk too much, people are going to switch off. It's not because what you're saying is not necessarily worth hearing. It's because you're not being concise. Maybe your breath. I'm kidding. You need to be concise. You need to get to the point. You also need to let other people speak as well. That way people want to listen to you and want to engage with you. So if you... I'm mixing up so many things. So if you're scoring 14 goals, I'm not sure that's entertaining. I think it's just like a massacre that becomes redundant after the 7th goal. That none of that made sense, but I'm glad you're still listening. I'm glad you subscribed. And I'm glad you're not going to hit the unsubscribe button, because if you do, I'm going to look for you. I'm going to find you. And I'm going to make you subscribe again. Alright. The new week is upon us. Work hard. Earn your weekend. And your leisure, as I say. Earn your leisure. Don't do anything I wouldn't. Don't take selfies. Don't commit. Don't do school shootings. I wouldn't do that personally. Don't be cruel unnecessarily. Go to the gym. Burn some of that stock fat. That roll of fat around your stomach. Yeah, that needs to go. So get on it. What else? What else should you do? What else am I commanding? What else am I commanding you to do? Have a great week, and catch up with you next week, I guess. Peace and love. Bye.